You too, what's going on, man? We on day 6 out of 7 of our 7 days of Atomic Habits. And today we got chapter 16, 17, and 18. We got some real game. I ain't gonna make the intro too long. Let's get straight to it. All right, first up, we're gonna talk about the truth about talent. I'm gonna give you two athletes. We got Hicham El Guerrouj, who's one of the greatest long distance runners of all time. He was an Olympic gold medalist. He held a world record in the 1500 and the 5000. And then we have, of course, everybody knows Michael Phelps. And these two people are different in a lot of ways. One competes in the water and the other competes in land. And also, Hicham El Guerrouj, he's 5'9". Michael Phelps is 6'4". But they're also identical in one respectable aspect, and that is they have the same length and legs. And what I'm getting at is, imagine if, well, first off, Hicham El Guerrouj is good because he was one of the best because his legs were so long and he was at his height. Like, that's uncommon for his legs to be that long. He had the same length of legs as a 6'4" person. But Michael Phelps, he has a relatively short like legs compared to his height, but that's what makes him so good. He has short legs, but like a long back and a long torso. That's what made him so good at swimming. And then it talks about how, like, imagine if those two athletes tried to switch sports. Imagine if Hicham El Guerrouj tried to go swim. He'd be terrible because his legs were too long. And the average swimmer in the swimming association, whatever it is, they're 6'4". He's only 5'9". And then Michael Phelps, imagine if he tried to go run and to the level that Hicham El Guerrouj was running, he'd suck because one, his torso is too long, and then he's 6'4". Hicham El Guerrouj is 5'9". Michael Phelps is 6'4". But the point of this chapter is to get at, like, you have to focus on where you have the most advantage at and why talent doesn't matter. It literally says genes can predispose, but they don't predetermine. The secret to maximizing your odds of success is to choose the right field of competition. And that's literally what Michael Phelps and Hicham El Guerrouj did. They chose the right field of competition, and that comes with time. Like, you have to find what you're going to be good at and do that. Don't try to force it because everybody's not going to be able to be good at basketball. Everybody's not going to be able to be good at football. Like, if you're 5'2" and you're trying to go to the NBA, like, bro, that's not going to happen. I'm just going to be real with you. But you have to find the right field of competition to compete in. And it says, if you truly want to be great, selecting the right place to focus is crucial. But if you want to be great, you got to find the right place to focus on. In this chapter, it also talks about something really interesting to me. It talked about how, like, when you're trying things and you're trying to figure out things like dating, trying to business and all that, you just keep trying. When you find something that works, you exploit. But when you still try and find something and it's not working, you keep searching. But when you find something, you have to exploit that. When you find something that works in your favor, just exploit that. And when you're looking, you want to find something that typically works in your favor 80 to 90% of the time. Then that's something that you'll be able to know in your head, like, oh, I can really do this. Like, I'm pretty good at this. I'm above average in this. And for me, it was really like, I was really above average in playing football. I wasn't the best, but I was above average. I wasn't mediocre, which allowed me to go play the Division I level. You know what I mean? But it's stuff like that. Finding something that works for you. Find something to focus on that works to your abilities, your talents, your God-given abilities. Because everyone in this world has something in them that they're better at than somebody else, but it's all about just finding it. That's all you have to do. But yeah, right, that analogy between Hicham El Guerrouj and Michael Phelps was really cool to me. Like, dang, like, he's really short but has long legs. That's what made him so great. And Michael Phelps has the same leg length as Hicham El Guerrouj. He's 6'4", but he was great because his torso was so long and his body was so long. You know what I mean? But that's the first one. All right, next up, we're going to talk about the greatest threat to success. And I asked you this question: what do you think the greatest threat to success is? And if you haven't read the book, you're probably not going to get it. And it was really crazy to me. But the greatest threat to success is boredom. In this chapter, it talks about how, like, people get bored of doing, like, the same thing over and over, because forming a habit of doing something new, it's going to be good for a little while, but it's going to get to a point where you just get bored with it. It's like, dang, like, I don't want to do it. Then you start to slack off. And then it says in the book, at some point it comes down to who can handle the boredom of training every day and doing the lifts over and over and over. And then, like, you just gotta think, bro, like, it's all about who's gonna last the longest, bro. That's why professional athletes are so good, bro. They keep doing the little things, the bored things over and over and over. You have to become fascinated doing the bored things because it's not gonna be good forever. But that's what separates you from everybody else. And it says the only way to become excellent is by endlessly being fascinated by doing the same thing over and over with. It says you have to fall in love with boredom. And that's like in anything, bro. You're trying to build a new habit, you're trying to get better at something. It's gonna be cool, fun at first, but it's gonna get to a point where you're like, dang, bro, I don't feel like showing up. I'm tired. It's bored. It's boring me. Like, but that's when you really have to hone in. And the quote that I have highlighted and everything, it says, I guarantee you that if you manage to start a habit and keep sticking to it, there will be days where you feel like quitting. When you start a business, there will be days where you don't feel like showing up. When you're at the gym, there will be sets that you don't feel like lifting. When it's time to write, there will be days you don't feel like typing. But stepping up when it's annoying or painful or draining to do, that's what makes the difference between a professional and an amateur. It's gonna be times, bro, when you don't feel like doing it. You just feel like, bro, I'm bored of it, I can't do it. But like, if you're really trying to be great and not good or not average, but great, legendary, you have to hone in and love and fall in love with the boredom of a habit or the boredom of what you're doing, because that's the only way that's gonna separate you, bro. That's the greatest threat to success, bro. It's not consistency. It's not any of that, bro. It's boredom. That's how people fall out of the dreams in their lives. What they want to do is they get bored with it. They just stop. Like, I know so many people who have started a clothing brand and started YouTube, and they just be like, bro, I stopped because I was bored. Like, I just wasn't doing it for me at that point. They get that high, and it's like, it's not the same, but it's like, bro, like, you got to fall in love with boredom. Falling in love with boredom is how you can succeed, bro. You have to, bro. You have to fall in love with the things that were once fun, but they get boring to a point, because everything is not going to be the same from when you started to when you get into it. Like, when I started playing football, it used to be so fun at one point, but then it's like training, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over. But it's like, dang, I fell in love with like the things that were quote unquote boring, because it's like, dang, those boring things really can separate you from amateur to a professional. All right, next up, we're gonna talk about how to break habits that hold you back. And in this chapter, it talks about like basically not wrapping your identity in what you're doing. If I could describe this chapter, like, you know, some people are football players and they like, I'm a football player like their whole life, or they're an athlete their whole life, or they're a musician their whole life. They get their idea of their mentality wrapped up in that habit. And that's kind of like bad, because like, of course that's gonna come to an end. You can see a lot of athletes when they stop playing ball or something, they fall into a deep depression. They don't know how to get out of it. But it says, when you cling too tightly to one identity, you become brittle. Lose that one thing and lose yourself, bro. And that's why I say, I've seen it happen firsthand to some of my friends. Like, they stop being athletes and they either go to the streets, they get depressed, or they just become stagnant, bro. And like, you can't do that, bro. Your identity can't be wrapped around in something that's not of you. You have to be able to shift, because you have to know, like, I'm not just an athlete. I'm just somebody who's really good at playing a sport and can have a good routine. It says, somebody who says I'm a great soldier, it has to transform to I'm the type of person that's disciplined, reliable, and great on the team. And instead of being I'm the CEO, it transfers to like I'm the type of person who builds and creates things. Like, that's how you have to think, bro. You can't think of just being an athlete or being a soldier, being a CEO. You have to think differently. You can't just box yourself into just I'm just an athlete, bro. Like, if you say you're an athlete, that's bad. You have to say I'm somebody who's tough and loves a physical challenge. That's better than your identity won't just be wrapped up in being an athlete. That's how I think now, bro. I stopped playing football. My identity was wrapped in football. It's like now, like, I'm somebody who's tough and loves a physical challenge, bro. That's why, like, I still work out. You know what I mean? But this chapter was really, it hit home for me, bro, because, like, I've gone through a time in my life where I stopped playing ball. I didn't know what to do, because my identity was wrapped in ball. But I'm going to leave y'all with this one quote. Men are born soft and supple. Dead, they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pillant. I don't know how to say it. Dead, they are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail. A lack of self-awareness is poison. Reflection and review is the antidote, bro. And that quote was written by Lao Tzu. That's some famous guy that's probably from China, but like, bro, like, you have to be flexible, bro. Like, it literally says reflection and review is the antidote, bro. You got to reflect and review. Like, I'm not just an athlete, bro. I'm somebody who loves a physical challenge. I'm not just a CEO. I'm somebody who can lead somebody, who can work well with the team and can start something. Like, it's really just like basically not wrapping your identity in something, bro, because it's always going to change. It's going to go to a point where that ends. Like, you have to wrap yourself around the type of person you are. It's a type of person you are that got you to be a great football player. It's the type of person that made you a great soldier. That's what you have to focus on, the characteristics, not just the big entity in itself, being a soldier, being a football player, bro. It's the traits that you had that made you that, bro. But I hope I articulate myself well. I'm explaining it well to y'all, bro, because that quote really hit home, bro. It's like you gotta be flexible. You can't just be stiff and broken. Just be like, I'm a football player. I'm a football player. Like, no, bro. You're somebody who loves a physical challenge, bro. You're not just a soldier. You're somebody who's disciplined and works well on the team. Like, that's what it is, bro. You can't just wrap your mind, bro. That's just, it's so bad in the athletic community, bro. Because so many people do that, bro. But yeah, man. That's it, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, bro. Consistency, 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 bro. Day 6 out of 7, bro. I'm enjoying getting this to y'all, bro. It's just, I'm giving y'all straight game, bro. Like I told y'all in a video, every video I should be telling y'all, but I probably don't, bro. But this book right here, bro, Atomic Habits, bro, I annotate, mark it up, all that, bro. Like, I'll probably keep this book for the rest of my life, bro. It's really been life-changing. And yeah, bro, if you made it this far, put 6 in the comment section. Let me know you made it this far. I appreciate y'all watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gone.